Good evening. It's December 23rd, almost Christmas Eve, and I thought just for the heck of it tonight, we would try to do a flight on Pilot Edge using the Cessna Citation Longitude, which is brand new to me. I flew it for the first time yesterday. I've had the game for quite a while, but been flying a lot of GA and just thought I would play with some IFR and play with some high altitude and jets, and kind of liking it, kind of digging it. It's got a few quirks, but new release of Microsoft 2020 patch update yesterday. So thought what better time than now just to give it a try. So we're going to jump in. We'll see how good we do. We got a new feature with the comms radios now that you can monitor COM2. So we'll test that out on Pilot Edge, and we should be able to do our own radio check tonight. So without further ado, let's just jump in here and kind of see what happens. Let's take a quick look here. Let's toggle our yoke back on here. Here's our plane outside the terminal here. Gate 45. We'll have to get a pushback. All right, so let's go first things first, and let's go to the pilot panel here. Let's get some external power on. And we'll go down to the console. Let's start up our APU. Take a look here on the MFD and watch the APU percentage climb up to about 100%. About 98. By the time we get to 98, we'll be ready to go ahead and power on some avionics here. We're going to check our flight plan to see how that compares to what I've got in just to see how that compares to what I've got in ForeFlight. All right, so we're 100% on the APU. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my avionics. And my strobe light and the beacon lights. Then we can go ahead and turn on our batteries. And we'll take a look at the flight plan here. All right, DO Cincy. Let's go to the FMS mode here. Well, not liking that. Seem to be locking up a little bit here. FMS. What's up with my flight plans here? All right, so there's home. And I'm not happy with the fact that we have got it locked up here a little bit. So, well, stand by to stand by. We're going to reboot here for just a minute. I'm going to flip you over here to a. We'll be right back, and I'm going to reboot the sim, see if we can't get this up and running the right way, because I think it's going to give us problems. So I don't know. Let's go ahead and see if we can get her started and see what happens. Let's take off our ground power, go back to our central console, crank up engine 2, monitor here. We have definitely lost our home buttons. I'm gonna kill the sim, and we're gonna try this all over again. Of course, nothing's gonna work quite like you would like it to. right, so the simulator is starting back now. We'll see if we can get there pretty quickly. We already filed a flight plan and I disconnected it. I don't know what that's going to do to Pilot Edge, so I'm going to exit Pilot Edge and reconnect, because that's definitely going to mess that up too. Love Microsoft Flight Sim. Hate some of the quirks and the bugginess that comes along with it. Doesn't get any prettier than the scenery in that for a flight sim for sure. We may just jump right in and try to program the FMS inside, so we'll just do it quickly. KSFO to KSNA, IFR. See if we can't get this thing running. I'm sure some of you got big plans for the holiday, Christmas. Here we go. Just checking the stream, make sure we're still alive. All right. Got our there, so let's do KSFO, San Francisco. We need to put ourselves on a ramp somewhere, or actually we need, yeah, we'll go ahead and just go right here. Okay, 47 this time. I think I was 45 last time, but hey, what do I know? Let's set our time here to about 12:45 p.m. We're going to go to KSNA, John Wayne. All right, and with that, let's jump in. We'll see what we can get done here. We'll see if we can configure the flight plan inside the plane, is still using Microsoft to do so. While that's loading, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We are back inside the plane. So we're going to try this one more time and see what we can get done here. So, shall we? Let's take a look here at the center panel. Let's go with some external power. Looks a little bit closer to right. Go to center console, FMS. Let's go flight plan here. And let's nope.
TAWS system test. Okay.
I'm gonna do the offshore 2 with well, I'd like to do the offshore 2 with no transitions. What I'd like to do. That's all right. We'll go here with the offshore transition. Take the offshore 2 with FLW. I'm going to arrive on the tilt 2. We're going above 3. Okay, we're going to have to back all this stuff up here. We want ILS for 20 right. Snake intersection. Or was it Seeger? Z. That's what I think I'm looking for. CNZ whammy. Go there. So Cinzy, Whammy, Seagull. To Cyprus. Seagull, enter. So we got Seagull. Then we got Cypress. Seagull, Cypress. Down to Mickey. Mickey goes into tilt. So we got tilt to zipper, to whirl, to teacups, to rookie. After rookie is Bob. I don't think we're going Jaws though. STYFF stiff. Yep. And Kane, KAYNN. KAYNN. Enter. And Lex BB. Play XBB. Cleaver. KLEVR. Cleaver. Sure. And then we need BHEAR. All right, then we want to start our approach to snake. Hakeem Lehman. Runway 20 right. That will get us there. All right. Flight plan is entered. Matches what I've got in ForeFlight. So it's got us as far as what we have planned. Let's get this bird started. So let's get here to my flight panel here. Let's go battery on. Let's take off our external power. Go to the center console. Let's bring our throttles up to idle. Here, center console. Fire up number 2 on the right side. We'll go up here and monitor. Oh, we did not have the APU running, but we should have done that. Gonna get things a little out of order, but we'll get her cranked. APU will come up pretty quickly. That's it just yet. Let's get this engine running. APU is in full swing. APU generator is running. And I think we did not get our engine start like we wanted. There we go. Now we're climbing. We have a good start on number 2. Let's go down in the center. Let's get a start on number 1. And go here and monitor that. And number 1 is coming up. Get some lights going here. All right. Lights here. Throttles are looking good. Normal, normal, normal. Bleeds are normal. FMS is looking good. Go left side over here. We want our nav to be on the FMS because we're going to use the GPS and not the VORs. Equivalent to the CDIs if you're flying, if you're used to GA aircraft and you're used to like a Garmin G1000 or the 530. All right, we're getting cranked here. All right, I think we have a good start on both engine 1 and 2. Take a look outside the plane here. All right, looking good there. All right, let's get some radios on. Let's get ourselves connected to Pilot Edge because I lost that a moment ago. Before I do this, let me get ourselves connected to Pilot Edge. So, launch my Pilot Edge client here. Pilot Edge is connecting, connect, and we are November 716 Delta Mike. We are a C700. And connect. Now let's go for our flight plan. IFR, November 716 Delta Mike. We are a C700 slant Golf. 220 knots, KSFO to KSNA. And we're going to do this at 29,000. And we want to offshore 2, Mickey transition to the tilt 2 arrival. And we would like to request ILS runway 20 right. And file that flight plan, and that flight plan is filed. That was hopefully I selected IFR. All right, so left side, let's take a look at some radios here. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch that over here. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. All right, so COM 1. I need COM 2 radios of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. Do that. There's COM 1 and COM 2. So we should be able to. Radio check, please. Radio check. Nope, I got a comp monitor. COM 2. 716 radio check. 716 Delta Mike radio check. All right, that's working. That's a new feature in Microsoft Flight Sim, if you didn't know that. That happened just as of today, or yesterday with the newest update. That feature has not been there. All right, so we can monitor radio our comms too. All right, so a couple of things we're going to need to do. Let's make sure I know what my nav radio is supposed to be set to for our ILS. Just for 111.75. So 111.75, we will set that on the nav frequency. 111.75, you'll see that there. That is the localizer for the ILS for 20 right at John Wayne. So now we're going to need to go to KSFO, show this on the map. We're going to need to get some frequencies here. So we need San Francisco clearance and delivery is 118.2. All right, so let's tune 118.2. Probably hear some chatter here. And we need an ATIS code. We need that on 113.7. That's not true. 118.85.
It's 19er left, 19er right. Departing runways 10 right, 10 left. Visual approach is in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information echo.
What's information echo?
San Francisco International Airport. ATIS information echo. 0256 Zulu. Wind 070 at 11. Visibility 10. 20,000 scattered. Temperature 12. 2.4. Altimeter 3024. Arriving runways 19er left, 19er right. Departing runways 10 right, 10 left. Visual approach is in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information echo.
All right, we have information echo.
Charlie Golf Mike Whiskey Tango is clear to Crater Lake. North Bend 7 departure. North Bend Dennis filed. Climb maintain 9,000. Departure frequency 121.4 and 6105 on the squawk. Charlie Golf Mike Whiskey Tango.
Charlie Golf Mike Whiskey Tango, back correct.
118.2. That's my clearance. And then ground. All right, so 118.2 is my clearance. All right, we're IFR to KSNA, so just In case you want to know what that is Santa Ana to John Wayne Airport, Santa Ana, California. Kilo Sierra November Alpha. All right, so we are going to copy IFR to, so we should be clear to KSNA. And let's look at our flight plan just for a minute here, just to understand what we should expect. We're going to probably, what runway did they say we were probably departing? So we're going to need to pick a runway here. 10 left, 10 right. We need to look at the departure here. So procedures. I don't think we can get a regular departure for a SID for that, so let's select a runway of 10 left and then do a departure from there and see what happens.
Boise Tower, Bonanza 638 Lima Delta, clear of runway 10 right, going to Western Aircraft.
That's 638 Lima Delta, taxi parking via Bravo, monitor ground.
Bravo to parking, monitor ground, 8 Lima Delta.
Alright, he's going to give us vectors to Seagull or Cypress or something. All right, that's San Francisco clearance and delivery. Let's get ready to call them up then. Good evening, San Francisco clearance. This is November 716 Delta Mike, ready to copy IFR to John Wayne.
Station 716 Delta Mike, San Francisco clearance, clear to the John Wayne Airport, Gap 7 departure, Woodside, transitions, Oscar Sierra India, Rex Salinas, Sierra November Sierra, J6, Avenal, Alpha Victor Echo, J1, Silmar, Foxtrot India Mike, Candy 5 arrival. Columbia SID, accept maintain 15,000, departure frequency 135.1, Guac 2737.
It'd be all right if I could ask you to repeat that. I got the departure Gap 7 Wood OS1, missed something there, the J6, the AVE, and then the Fox India Mike.
Gap 7 Woodside transition to Oscar Sierra India, that's an I, not a 1, Oscar Sierra India VOR. The Salinas VOR, Sierra, November, Sierra, J6, Avenal, Alpha Victor Echo, J1, Fillmore, Fox 7 Mike, Candy 5, arrival. And did you copy anything else?
Oh, I apologize. I'm gonna have to just cancel on this one because I'm not prepared for this. I apologize. It's not even close to what I filed, and I understand that's not your fault. So I'll just cancel out right now and file a new flight plan and prepare myself.
Well, the flight plan you filed would have been great, except we're e-stopped in San Francisco for the first time in a long time. So the system changed your entire routing as a result because I had to give you a new departure.
Understood. Yes, sir. I had prepped myself for it, but yeah, I'll just cancel this and I'll study it. Maybe I'll jump back on here in a few for it. All right. Well, that jacked it all up, didn't it?
Northbound ground, Seminole Charlie Golf Mike Whiskey Tango on the GA ramp, ready to taxi IFR. Charlie Golf Mike Whiskey Tango, northbound ground, runway 13, taxi via Bravo Alpha. 13 via Bravo Alpha, Charlie Golf Mike Whiskey Tango.
Tell you what, we're gonna fly this, and I'm just gonna cancel off the pilot edge because I'm not ready for that yet. Got some more learning to do. Pretty good with the VFR stuff, but with that routes and the way the changes are today, it's just gonna mess me up. So we're gonna get a little flying in before bedtime here and enjoy this. I've got it all set up in the FMS here. The flight plan is there, so we're just gonna pretend and do it that way tonight. So I'm going to, first things first, disconnect from pilot edge, close that out, exit out of that, and we're going to get this show started here. All right, we're cruising at 29,000 today. That's our expectations here, so we're going to put in our Cincy at 5,000. Enter. I think we could be sooner than that. Where was my... Well, believe it or not, I messed up the entire game plan here. Let's remove that, and let's go back in here and do the departure and the offshore 2. No transition off of... Two 8 left. And then procedures, arrival was the tilt 2 with no transition and runway 20 right coming in there. There's our flight plan. And add that to the route. That was what we were going to fly. All right. So my altitudes in here real quick. So we have some stuff to go by here. All right, I think we're ready. We were going to do this with Pilot Edge, and I apologize. All right, plane's ready. Let's get ready. All right, we need to get a pushback going here. So we got that coming. Not gonna need these right now. That just makes it hot and not necessary since I'm not running with ATC. Down to just in that idle range. And are we getting our pushback that we requested? Yep, he's hooking us up. All right, brake, parking brake is going off. Pushes us back. Okay. Stop our pushback, set our parking brake there. Let's get our smooth track app going here so that we can have a little face tracking tonight, which works pretty good. All right. FMS panel's good. Nav radio is set. I need to go back to the home screen here. We're on FMS mode. That's good. We're going to set our altitude pre-select to 5,000 as we climb out on initial. We'll go 3,000 for start. No, we'll go to 5,000 on the pre-select. Set a vertical speed of 1,500. And what runway were we going off of? We are going off of 20 right. So we're going to put a heading bug in here of 200. On the heading bug. That should get us right off the end of the runway. Okay, and we'll throw some auto throttles on here as we make our climb out, and we'll hold ourselves at about 220 knots on the initial. All right, we'll go heading, and we'll go VS mode. All right, and co-pilot, we'll go up here. We'll turn our flight directors on. All right, and autopilot is waiting. Center console's good. FMS is good. Throttles are good. All right, let's do look out the window here. Parking brake is off, and let's taxi. Look out the way there, buddy. You're standing in the middle of a busy area. All right, so we're going off of 28 left. I'm just going to have to make my way around these busy areas.
19 right.
All right. We're not actually talking to ATC, but we're going to call it. We're going to hold short here, and then we're going to pretend that we've been given the all clear to cross. So we're going to go ahead and cross. Runway looks clear. Clear left, clear right, and we're crossing.
Entered runway 01 left, 19 right. Approaching runway 01 right, 19 left.
All right, hold short again. ATC is now giving us the all clear, so we're crossing again. We're going to find our way to Foxtrot, and Foxtrot down to 28 left. Clear left.
Entered runway 01 right,
Clear right.
19 left.
Veer off here to the right just a little ways, which will keep us on Foxtrot. Water off to our right, and runways off to our left. All right, we are coming up here. Let's go ahead and bring in a little bit of flaps here. This would be the place where we would normally call tower. Tell them that we are holding short. Runway 28 left. Tower come back, runway 28 left, clear for takeoff. And I would tell him 28 left, clear for takeoff, 716 Delta Mike. Alright, so final looks clear.
Approaching runway 28 left.
We're going to go with the ideal that ATC has given us the all clear.
Entered runway 28 left, 11,300 feet remaining.
Okay, here we go. Rotation speed. Tap the brakes. Gear is coming up. Go ahead and bug autopilot on. Coming up on our 5,000. Turn our auto throttle on. 220 knots is what we're looking for there. We'll take a look over here at the iPad. We're a little bit off our heading there, but we'll be all right. We'll go ahead and straighten ourselves out here at 280. Don't know what I missed on that, but that should have been 280 on the departure heading. Take a look at us here as we're climbing out. There's where we just departed from, back behind us. San Francisco. Grab a little screenshot of that. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and hit our nav mode here. That should get us into a left-hand turn. Get our altitude going here. We'll climb on up to about 8,000. And enter VS mode here. And climb up at about 1,500 feet per minute. Go ahead and take our indicated airspeed up to about 250 right now. We'll let auto throttle do some managing here. We'll follow along here on the iPad. Nice shot right there. Cool. Gotta love the scenery of Microsoft Flight Simulator 20, because it is flat out good stuff. Grab us another screenshot there. That's nice. Look out our left window. All right, our flaps are up, our gear is up. Lights are off. We're a little before 10,000 on that. I guess I should leave those on technically. We'll leave those on until we cross 10,000. We're going to pretend ATC is going to go ahead and give us our clearance on up to 10,000. So climb, maintain 10,000. Go ahead and do 10,000 on the altitude selection here. 10,000. We're still climbing at 1,500, and we're maintaining our 250 knots. We may go ahead and increase our indicated airspeed on up to about 300. All right, we're going to be making another left-hand turn here. Get close to Whammy. I'm going to step away for just a second while I got a call coming in, and we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. Alright, so we made our left-hand turn at Whammy, and now we should be headed down to Seagull. Let's see where we're at on the altitude right now. We're running up at our 10,000, so let's go ahead and take our altitude pre-select on up to 15. ATC's now cleared us. Climb and maintain 15,000, 716 Delta Mike. And we'll BS that. And there's our 1500, and we're still at holding our 300 knots. Might bump that on up to about 320. Push the limits here a little bit. I'm sure somebody out there will tell me how I'm doing it wrong, but and I probably am, honestly. I'm working toward getting my private pilot license, but I'm doing general aviation, and I'm learning to fly in a Citabria, which is a tail dragger. I just enjoy the flight simming world. I've been flying GA stuff here on the flight sim a lot. I've been flying the Bonanza a lot. That's super fun. I do Pilot Edge all the time. A lot of VFR stuff, a few IFR flights, but VFR around the area, hopping around from Class Charlies to Class Charlies and Deltas, and even out of a Bravo over to a Charlie. I've done that several times. And when you're prepared for that and you study for it, tonight just threw me for a curveball because I filed something and he gave me something 100% different than what I was expecting, and I wasn't able to copy all of that down quickly enough. So I just decided I would keep the flight plan I had originally filed and fly it and just jump off a Pilot Edge and go ahead and do this flight for now, as I'm still kind of learning this Longitude. I do have the a performance mod that is out there on it. It's been updated as of yesterday, so that really helped. Pre the mod, the plane would oscillate left and right a lot at altitude when on autopilot, and that seems to have gone away. Supposed to get some correct fuel burn calculations and things like that going on, so all that's good stuff. I'm liking it. It's pretty fun to fly. I like the modern part of this plane, the glass cockpit, the different pieces of it. I really do enjoy that. So got your FMS mode going over there. I forgot to turn my speed bugs on. Normally I would have had my takeoff, I would have had my rotation speed there, and landing here, approach speed at 135. So that's changing the mod, because pre-mod that approach speed was 153 or 154, I think it was. So apparently they've updated that to what the real plane performance looks like, and apparently you're approaching at 135. I landed it a few times using the auto throttle and the ILS, which is what we're going to do tonight on this flight, as we make our way down to John Wayne, around the LA area. So flight time right now 8 minutes and 17 seconds. They're at 14,000 and climbing up 15,000. And we're making about 386 knots over the ground with our indicated airspeed of around 320. So we got 357 miles to our destination and 12 miles to our next waypoint there, which is going to be Seagull, 11 miles. Take a look at our FMS here. I'll scroll down and see what Seagull, the plan was 15,000. So after that, after we pass Seagull, we'll go up to 22,000. Go ahead and dial in 22,000 on the altitude pre-select here. And we'll wait our 7 miles, and then we'll go ahead and climb on, step on up. Pretty sight off to our left there. You can see the moon off in the distance and the mountains. Very neat. Jump outside the plane and take a look. What a shot that is. Let's get a picture of that. Ocean to our right and land to our left with the moon. Pretty unique there. Back inside here, look at our PDF, and we've cleared Seagull, so let's go ahead and hit our V speed now, and let's BS us up at about another 15. Go ahead and go 2,000 feet per minute here on this climb. As we get up higher in the altitude, I find that we do have to dial the speed back just a little bit because we get into that red line scenario. Go ahead and set her down to about 315 knots here. We'll gain some more once we level out up higher. You join us, man. I appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully the stream's coming through well. I'm pretty new to the live streaming piece of this. I am running a Samsung 49-inch ultra-wide monitor. Like I said, been doing mostly a lot of GA stuff. Picked up the Honeycomb Alpha yoke. I've got the Logitech radio panel, Logitech multi-panel. Multi-panel does a lot of your autopilot features, your flaps, your trim. I'm currently running the Logitech throttle quadrant. And man, I am holding out and waiting for the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant, which is probably the best thing going on the market, I would say, right now. So transition altitude, let's get back in the plane. Let's double check our barometric our barometer settings there. Go look in on the PDF. 2992 where our set is standard. I'll hit the B just in case, but above flight level 180, we use standard baro. And then when we down below that, we use what ATC provides us and what the current barometric pressure is, depending on where we're at in the world. We could use flight level change. I did a VS flight level. We seem to have no problem sustaining the power that we're holding here. We're not having any problem climbing at that, but flight level change would probably be the safe way to make that climb. As a matter of fact, we're going to climb up to 29,000. So I'll tell you, why don't we jump up here and throw this thing into flight level change? And that's going to hold us at our 300, and we'll hold that at 315 knots. Alright, and then we will go ahead and do our altitude selection here. Let's run her on up to 29,000, which is what our planned flight altitude was today for cruising. There's 29,000. And we're going to climb at 315 knots using flight level change mode. So what that will do is that'll keep your speed and bleeding off, and you don't ever have to you don't ever have to worry about stalls or anything like that. Probably a lot more of an issue when you get to flying GA aircraft and smaller engine planes, but when you're flying twin engine jet aircraft, this thing seems to have no lack of power. So we're above our 10,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and turn our lights off. We should have done that a long time ago as well. Sight. I have to say, it's a beautiful airplane, beautiful jet. Picture there. Alright, so we're coming up on our 29,000 feet. We're passing through 27,000, flight level 270. Making our left turn now from Cypress, headed down to Mickey. I'm going to guess Mickey waypoint is somewhere close to Disneyland. Just a hunch. I could be wrong. Find that they make a lot of these waypoint names based on things in the area. 28,000, coming up on 29,000 here in a moment. Go ahead and level off there. That's going to be our cruise altitude for the flight. Study down here. Mickey, I guess I should have had that in there. Mickey was, it'll be 29,000. We'll hold 29 through tilt. When we get to tilt, we'll start our descent. We'll slowly step ourselves down. We'll go in and get into our approach. As we get down to lower levels here. We'll see where I'm at here. I need to just do some checking here on some levels. 6,000 at Jaws. Where was Jaws at? I think Jaws is not in our... I think it's bar stiff. Yeah, we'll remove that waypoint. Okay, where do we need to be at Bear when we come in? I think we need to be at 3,500-ish or so. Flying off the coast of California. It's interesting how the mountains go right up to the water. Got some clouds here pushing in on us. So if you're watching, are you a flight simmer or what is it you do? Tell me about it. Tell me what you think about the stream, if it's coming good through clear or not. The 49-inch monitor gives me a like higher than a 32:9 ratio, aspect ratio, so it makes it for a really wide screen. It's kind of nice there, sitting here playing the game. You can see a whole lot in one view, but for my stream, I had to. That's what makes it narrow there with black bars. But it gives me room to display for flight, another camera with my flight controls, and then a camera with myself as well. So hopefully that's coming through nice and clear for you. At 315 knots, that's 490 knots over the ground, so over 500 mile an hour. 29,000 feet in altitude here, just shy of 29.3. Been in the flight now for just over 20 minutes, and our expected flight time is going to be roughly an hour and 23. So we shall see what happens here over the next hour. Really wish the VNAV feature was working in this baby. That would make it really nice, especially with the auto throttles. You could set your altitudes and step downs, and it would manage it for you. Plane's totally manageable. Just requires a little bit more workload on you flying it right now. With using the V-speed and flight level chains, you can handle climbing and descending no problem. The VNAV though would pop up there on the PDF where you see the altitude select here. It would arm and say VPath, and then you would do your pre-select of your lower altitude on your approaches, and then you have in your FMS, then you have all these altitudes that are defined with VNAV. It actually creates that VNAV profile. You'll have a top of descent, bottom of descent, and it'll gradually take you down, manage your descent for you, as well as with your auto throttle. You can set your speeds and you can pretty much nail it right on, and it takes a lot of the workload off. A little bit of pre-programming, but it takes that workload off. It makes it for a really nice descent down into your destination. So I'm hoping that's something that Flight Sim 2020 will get updated here in the future. If not, there's some really good modders out there, like the mod that I picked up for this right now that is making it better. Maybe soon we'll have those features in there as well. Still some limitations in the GPS itself and some of the IFR capabilities that Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 may or may not have right now, but I can tell you it's a great platform. I have X-Plane as well, and I've enjoyed X-Plane. I've not flown any of the jets until just now. This is brand new to me, flying the jets. It's pretty neat though. I have flown the TBM 850 and the TBM 900, both in X-Plane. Super nice planes. X-Plane, man, the TBM, the Hot Start TBM on X-Plane 11 is something else. By far the best plane I ever flown in a simulator. I think these are getting really good. I do like flying the Cessna 172. I like flying the Bonanza G36 in Microsoft Flight Sim. And I picked up the Coronado Seminole Piper PA-44 twin engine airplane, and that plane too is a lot of fun. Has some issues when it comes to cold weather and in the clouds because it ices up and it has no de-icing capabilities, but man, it's a really fun plane to fly. I've really enjoyed it. I've flown it quite a bit already since Thanksgiving when it came out. I live in the Midwest. I'm not originally from the Midwest, so California's kind of new to me. I don't know much about California. I've flown a lot of flights on Pilot Edge out here, VFR mainly, and some stuff in Colorado too, around the Denver Centennial area, and that's a lot of fun. All right, we're coming up on Mickey. Let's take a look here. So we are 14 miles from Mickey, 14.5, and yeah, we're showing the same in ForeFlight, 14 nautical miles to our next waypoint, which is Mickey. Then we'll make our way down the Zipper. Take a look here in the flight plan. Mickey is here. This is our active leg in magenta. Then we'll scroll down. Shows tilt. A little confused on that. Move down. Should be Mickey to Zipper, which is what we're going to do. I probably messed some of that up. I typed that in manually if you were following along earlier, setting up the flight plan, and had lots of things to adjust. Had Flight Sim crash on me at the very beginning. Had a complete IFR plan that I had studied for probably a solid hour before getting online and starting the live stream. I'd created the flight plan, studied everything, was prepared mentally to talk to ATC and copy my IFR, and then the curveball thrown at me there because the winds were different and he sends us off on a different runway, and completely changed my entire departure and the whole route. Nothing about the route was even remotely the same. I had a lot of waypoints in there, and man, that was just a lot to copy, and so I just bowed out and decided we'd do it without the help of Pilot Edge on this flight, even though would have really liked to have done so. But we're going to get there. I'm going to do the I ratings. I've done the CAT ratings on Pilot Edge. I've currently worked myself up from Cat 1 all the way through Cat 9. I believe there's 11. There's 10 and 11. So the next thing I've got is a Bravo transition through a special flight rules area, through a Bravo flyway, and then a Class Bravo to Class Bravo departure and arrival on VFR, and that'll complete my CAT ratings. And I've had a lot of good luck with those and really enjoy doing that. So I will start into the I rating shortly after that. So, all right, I think we've made Mickey, and we make a little course correction now for Zipper. This will start the tilt transition, I believe. So we're 30 miles to Zipper, and that jives with what I see on ForeFlight as well in the bottom left-hand corner. Let's see, we're going to fly clear over some, that's a Class Delta airspace you see there too in the blue. I'm not sure what that is right on top of my head here, which airport that would be, but that would be that's probably KSBP, which is San Luis. You see Santa Barbara in front of us. I've flown out of Santa Barbara several times. That's a Class Charlie. I've done that VFR flights on Pilot Edge many times. Fun place to fly in and out of. Burbank as well. El Monte. All these different areas. So this class, this LAX here, this is the Cat 9 on the Pilot Edge, where you have the VFR flyway and special flight rules there. That's my next test on Pilot Edge, and I'll probably get that. Probably do that right after Christmas. Got a lot going on. About to go out of town, be away from Flight Sim and my computer for probably a solid week, and then another week, first week of January, I got to hit the road for work as well on a work trip. So it's probably going to be second week or so of January before I'm back in here and trying to finish up the CAT ratings on Pilot Edge, and then jump into the I ratings then as we get on into the winter. That's the plan, and hopefully I'll get to stream some of those, draw some audience and people watching on that. So I hope the stream's coming through nice and clear. I had, like I said, new to the stream, got set up with the, I'm using OBS, and I'm using Restream.io to stream this to both Twitch and to YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, 716 Delta Mike is my channel. It's also the same for Twitch, so you can look that up, join, subscribe, check out some of the other videos, some of the other flights I've done. On those flights and those recordings, you will hear the Pilot Edge stuff. I highly recommend Pilot Edge. You can't talk highly enough about it if you're learning to fly, of just how good it really is at teaching you the radio stuff. It's just copying the IFR clearance, just throwing me for a major loop there a while ago, and he was going to get super frustrated with trying to get me to copy it all down, because it is a lot to take down an IFR clearance in shorthand really, really quickly, because they throw a lot at you in a real short period of time. If you're prepared for it in your mind and you've studied the route and the charts, then you can kind of get through it, because you know those waypoints and you know what he's throwing at you because you're already familiar with it. But if you get a completely different route than what you plan for, it's hard to be, unless you're familiar with the area, and I'm not. That was just a lot. All right, we're en route to Zipper. Zipper 26.5 is our plan, to be at 26.5 when we get there, and that is coming up at 3 miles. So we are a little bit going to go ahead and start our descent, and let's see what we were for Worrell. 25,000. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and plug in 25,000. We're going to start our descent into the area. We're 30 minutes in. Still got a little ways to go, but we're going to go ahead and descend down. So we'll wait. Yeah, we'll wait till we get to Worrell and then start descending down to about 25,000. Go ahead and set that on the altitude pre-select there. All right, Zipper to Worrell, 23 miles. All right, we'll VS that, and we'll drop that down at about 1,000 feet per minute. what'll happen there with our airspeed set at 315, the auto throttles will pull back and keep us from overspeeding. So we're going to come on down at 1,000 feet per minute. .2 miles, 2 minutes. So we're going to have to descend a little bit faster than that. So we're going to bring that on down to about 1,500 feet per minute, because we're 2 minutes till we get to Worrell. And I'd like to be down to about 25,000 by the time we get there. So we're going to have to speed this up just a little bit. Increase our rate of descent. Still holding 315 knots. This plane does have air brakes as well, speed brakes. It's pretty neat. I'm using Smooth Track. I've ordered Track IR. It'll be in after Christmas, so I'm anxious to really see how that works out with my setup here. I like the Smooth Track and the app on the phone. This is what I'm using right now. Got to do a lot of playing with the sensitivity curves on all of that. I have played with it a little bit. It does pretty good, but I'm not completely happy with it. But it's usable right now. And for the money, it's a really good deal. Smooth Track app is pretty doggone cheap, if not free. I can't remember what I paid for it, but wasn't too awful much. And it does work really well. It's another app or two you can use with OpenTrack, and the app that'll recognize a webcam and it'll track your face. Tried that a little bit, but I had more luck with my iPhone and the Smooth Track app being more accurate. Maybe because I had a cheap webcam that was old. That most likely was the problem. Window there. All right, teacups. What was the plan for teacups? 22,000. Let's go ahead and bring us down to 22. There's 22,000 set on the altitude selection. We're still descending at 1,500 feet per minute. And we are 5 minutes away from teacups, and I think we will make that. We're just now passing through 25,000. We just passed Worrell, so we're in line for where we need to be. Take a look outside the plane here. Might be able to tell we're in a downward posture there, pointing down as we're making our descent.
126.0.
126.0. So if we were still on the Pilot Edge network, we would be able to pull that up and hear that. But I'll go ahead and dial 126.0 just because that's what I would be doing had I been there. I like using the radio panel. It is super nice. I highly recommend that as well. Cannot wait to get the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant. Because that is going to be the cat's meow for pretty much everything from big jet airliners all the way down to GA aircraft. With the trim wheel, your throttle, your prop, your mixture, flaps, a lot of autopilot buttons are actually featured on that Bravo throttle quadrant. I would already have it, but I can't find it available. The availability is the key piece right now. That's so new. It just came out, and everybody's wanting it, and it's hard to buy. So we're going to take an ILS approach in here, ILS to runway 20 right, I believe it was. Let's pull up our approach plate here. Yep, ILS for 20 right. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the iPad, put it in my lap for a minute, and we will look over this approach plate just to familiarize ourselves here as we look for teacups in 3.5 minutes. All right, so you'll see where we are at teacups. At teacups, we're going to make a left-hand turn, go down to Rookie, then Bob, and then Stiff, and then Kane, and Laxbeast, and then Kevlar, Cleaver, whatever that is, and then to Bear, and then we actually start the approach to our initial approach fix. So I believe we have Lemon intercept, Dyer's intercept, and then there is the Snake. So we will look here. There's Lemon, Dyer's, Snake intercept. Here we go. $3,400 at Snake. What do we got in the FMS? We got 3,400. 2,800 at Hakeem. 2,200 to be where we actually hit our approach and intercept our glide path, which is Lemon. 2,200. So as we're on that active to Lemon, that's when we're going to hit the approach button on our autopilot. And from there, it'll take us down on the glide path right to the runway. And we need to set our minimums, which I don't think I did on this before I started. So let's take a look at touchdown is 55 feet. So we're going to call it 200. It should be 255 would be our minimums here. And there it is right there. 255. We'll jump over here. We'll establish our minimums here. Let's go to the home screen and minimums, and we will go minimums on 255. And there's our minimums are set. Teacups in 1:25. What's after teacups? Rookie at 18. So let's go ahead and hit our altitude pre-select and go to 18,000. Teacups is coming up in 50 seconds. That's going to be a quick one. "30 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and VS us down then. 2,000 to 1,800 feet, because we're going to have to make this one pretty quick. And there's our left-hand turn. We made teacups. We're going to start seeing LAX area here in just a little while. We're going to be coming into the LA area. What's up, Stevene? Steven 25. How goes it, man? Thanks for joining. Glad to have you here with us, man. Hopefully it's not too boring. I know I said I was going to be on Pilot Edge tonight. A little issue there early on, copying down the IFR with them. I wasn't prepped on what we were doing, so I'd studied for about an hour before that, and it all changed on me at the last minute. So we're flying the Cessna Longitude, and we're managing this with VS and flight level change and auto throttles tonight. The VNAV is not working. Hopefully that's coming through clear on the stream. You can see the iPad. We're coming up on rookie here, so let's take a look where we're at. Pushing in on our 18,000, so we're going to make rookie an 18,000. So let's look at our FMS plan here. See what altitudes we had planned next. So Bob was at 12.5, and we'll have a little time to do that too. So So we should be able to go into here altitude mode and go ahead and take our 12.5 and pre-select that. All right. We're going to go ahead and start our descent down to Bob at 12.5. And we'll do that one at, we may bring this back to about 1,200 feet per minute. Slow that descent a little bit. We got a little bit of time over this one. We got
Transition
5
altitude.
miles.
Nearest altimeter.
3020. And there we go. 3020 adjusted on the altimeter. All right, so we got 41 miles to get down to our 12.5. I think we'll make that just fine. So the next thing we're going to need to start taking a look at is managing our speed as we get into here. Because we land this bird at about 135 knots and we're running 315. So we will have to dial some speed back as we start getting a little closer here. And we are in that area where I think I want to start probably dialing it back some. So go ahead and get to my indicated airspeed. We're going to let the auto throttles manage this, but I'm going to tune it back. So we'll bring her down to 300 and I'm down to about 280. Go to 285. We'll slow ourselves down a little bit. And then as we get on into Bob, we'll slow some more. Because one thing about this bird is you can't just slam on the brakes and be down to 135 in just a little short stretch of time. You got to bring her down slowly. It's a good time to manage that airspeed as you're managing your descent. All right, we're at 16,000 down, passing down to 12.5. Now, one thing I've learned as you're doing this, as you're coming in on your planned arrival and you get vectored a lot of times, you can take this thing off of nav mode, sync up your heading bug, throw it into heading mode, and take your vectors. And then with your ILS frequency already tuned in on the radio, you can, once they get you in on the ILS path again, they'll vector you to the intersect, and then you can switch your nav mode off of FMS or CDI mode over to VLOC or the localizer, which is the green. In this scenario, it's the nav source there will be off of FMS 1 to nav 1, I believe it will be. It'll turn green though, you'll see what I mean. As you look right here on our compass rose here, our line is magenta. That means we're following GPS. When it turns green, we'll be following the VORs or the localizers radio signals. All right, 14.4 passing through on our way to 12.5, and we are 4 minutes from our next waypoint at Bob. Bob, B-A-U-B-B. Could be boobs or bobs. Inside the plane, see what we're looking at here. Nice shots. Got some clouds up above us. A few scattered down below us. A beautiful airplane, that is for sure. The island off to our right out there. About our 1 o'clock. One right in front of us, straight out in front of us. All right, as we come to Bob, we'll start making our left-hand turn inland. Where we'll approach John Wayne will be on our off to our right as we approach. So we're kind of going to pass it on the right and then make a right-hand U-turn and come back in and make the ILS approach for 20 right. All right, let's take a look at our FMS and let's be prepared here. So it's stiff. We want to be at 10,000. We are on our way to Bob, and we are at 12.5, which is our planned route there. We're still 12 miles away, 2 minutes. 2 minutes out, and then we'll, next heading altitude set is going to be 10,000, so we'll go ahead and pre-plan that. So we'll do our altitude pre-select to 10,000. And then we'll get ready for a VS mode here. And when I make Bob, I'll probably bring us down to some more speed, at least by the time we start getting to stiff. Start adjusting a little bit of speed off of this and bring us down to a manageable speed, probably in that 255, 265 range. Minute and a half, and then we start our turn, left turn at Bob. Bob, B-A-U-B-B. Bob, I don't know how you say it. It's interesting though. All right, under a minute, we'll start our left-hand turn. See the island right out in front of us there. I'm not sure what island that is, but definitely right off our nose. "30 seconds, 38. We're 3 miles from Bob. And here's our left turn. All right, we're going to start our V speed, and we'll drop this down by 1,500. Let's get ourselves down to 10,000. We'll take our indicated airspeed. We'll bring it down to about 260, 270. There we go. And we need Kane at 9,000. Kane is probably pretty close behind this. We're stepping her down. This is where VNAV would come in really handy. It's a shame that's not working yet, but hopefully in the not too distant future it will be working. Because that'll be really nice, Clark. Real nice, Clark. Oh, there's a shot. Let's get a picture of that. There's those islands that was just off our nose there a minute ago. Steve, I appreciate you tuning in tonight, man. Hopefully this has been somewhat entertaining. I spend a lot of hours watching other people stream, a lot on Twitch as well. I enjoy these flight sims quite a bit. Like I said, brand new getting into this airliner mode, I guess, in the longer hauls. So I'm used to doing a lot of GA flights. It's pretty neat. A little bit slower pay. I like the workload of actually changing the altitudes and everything, so it's kind of fun doing that here in this plane since VNAV is not working, but pretty cool stuff. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, whatever it is you do out there in the online world to back and watch again sometime. Glad you're here. All right, 40 seconds away from stiff, and stiff is 10,000. We're at our 10,000, and we need 9,000 after that. So let's go ahead and altitude pre-select down to 9, and let's BS that at about 1,000 feet per minute. "51 minutes into our flight, actually 52 minutes, and we're 40 nautical miles away from our destination.